We're in Charleston, West Virginia, where the state capitol is located. Inside the dome we find a chandelier, weighs more than 1 ton. That's more than most of the cars that you drive. The AAA book gives the museum a gem rating, so we'll stop in and take a look. The flag of the state, that's a big one. And this is a 33-star flag. Presumably West Virginia was the 33rd state. I know it was split off from Virginia by a proclamation of Lincoln. And this is a pair of chaps worn by Billy the Kid. You remember they wear chaps to protect their legs while riding a horse. It's a very comprehensive museum. It starts the history of the state over 300 million years ago. The oldest tombstone they're aware of, dated sometime in the 1700s. That's the best they can do. Daniel's walking stick and rifle. A watering trough dated back at least to 1790.
Line of the nation into north and south. 1859, in the western Virginia town of Harper's Ferry, a group of anti-slavery abolitionists led by John.
Oops, West Virginia was the 35th state. A 35-star flag, West Virginia being the 35th state. This is the official 35-star flag. Kanawha Falls includes an electrical generating station. It's a very picturesque area we just came across by accident. We're southeast of Charlottesville, West Virginia, probably 20-30 miles. Guarding Daddy's hat. You can put the Washington Monument and 2 statues of Liberty underneath the ark, the top of the ark. That is rust. The steel is rusted, allowed to rust. A special steel that the rust protects the steel underneath. 900 feet below us, this is the river and gorge that the bridge spans. The river is flowing north, a very odd thing for rivers in North America. Birthplace of Pearl S. Buck, author of 85 books, one of them known best as The Good Earth, for which he awarded a Pulitzer Prize. 3 stories, including a half basement. That is, it's half buried. It's likely the kitchen and eating areas were down below. We're at Green Banks, West Virginia, at the Green Banks Science Center, the National Radio Astronomy Observatory. Astronomy is not in looking at the stars, but listening. upcoming video, you're going to see several radio antennas. The largest one is about a mile away. Now that's large enough to put a football field on it, with plenty of room for parking for the spectators around the edges. This is the only location we can take pictures from because of radio interference from cameras. Even something this small will cause problems. The original radio telescope, and over here we have a Checker Motor Company car. They used these because they were diesel in the early days, so there's no electrical interference from the spark plugs. It doesn't have spark plugs. 60 feet approximately, top to bottom. This water will join the Mississippi River and eventually end up in the Gulf of Mexico. We got one of Obama's make-work schemes going here in West Virginia. Some contributor got some money. A nice empty highway. We're at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. I would call it an annex. It's where they have on display a lot of the items that they don't have room for at the Washington, D.C. Museum. It's on the grounds of the Dulles International Airport, maybe 25 miles west of D.C. Admission is free. Parking is $15. Now this is more my speed out of Fullerton Airport. Made by Boeing in 1923. If it ain't Boeing, I ain't going. Literally overlapping wings. Look at the holes in the canvas wing. It must have been parked in someone's garage for a long time. Made in France. Some of these things are nothing more than kites. Most of aviation advancement is made because of war. This is the Enola Gay. Carried the first atomic bomb to Japan. This is the cockpit of the Enola Gay. That technology is immediately passed on to the civilian aircraft. The large white aircraft is the SST, Supersonic Transport. Somewhere I have a picture of my dad standing in front of an aircraft very similar to this one, a trimotor. He was probably in his 30s. German World War II aircraft, including the single wing. The silver aircraft is a Pan American Airlines Goonie Bird. This type of aircraft is what started commercial aviation in the United States. The world, for that matter. They're working on a Navy Helldiver. And this flying boat was used immediately after the Pearl Harbor attack to search for submarines. They're restoring it now. This needs no explanation. Satellites are us. And they push that thing into space. Those are flotation bags on top to make sure it doesn't sink. It's a quarantine trailer. It's not really on wheels. They used for the guys coming back from the moon. Aircraft machine guns. Oh, let's take a picture of the little girl in front of them. A drone helicopter designed to be launched from a small naval aircraft carrying a nuclear depth bomb to use against Soviet nuclear submarines. How would you like to have that in your car? So this is where all my contributions have been going. We're going to see a lot of this, but I'll just show you the highlights. And that's weird looking guns. That piece of rope on top of the gun is lit and then used to fire the weapon. This depicts a gunsmith hand boring a rifle. Some very famous folks and the heat they packed. The Model 911 is the military handgun, a .45 caliber. Poor Benji, trapped in the van again. But I've seen him go through this before and it doesn't seem to bother him.